Yeah, I think I'm having fun. I'm having fun with the season, even though we haven't really gotten to the crazy stuff yet. Obviously, I think I'm just like I'm really enjoying what Mappa's the vision for Mappa here.
Yes, sir. I think I'm right there with you. Honestly, man, I was just really, really, really happy to see Toji animated. This guy's been moving around my brain for the last, 2 years in manga
Hmm.
form. And just, at this point, Toji is just ancient history to manga readers.
Yeah.
So just
Wait,
like,
no.
wait, what are you
Hello.
talking about? Yes, he is.
No, he's not, bro. Not at all.
Hey, explain yourself, sir.
Bro, Toji's like top five in the series. He can't be ancient history no matter where he left. He also showed up in the manga at, like 193, bro. That's not even that far away
That does
ago.
not. That's like a panel flashback.
Hey, bro, he was in there. He not ancient history. I'm arguing with you, bro. Toji always lives in our hearts and minds, bro. For the real JJK fans, at least. I can't speak for you. But yeah,
Ha
no,
ha ha
continue
ha
about
ha
how
ha.
great Toji is and how excited you are to see him in the anime.
I mean, you kind of took the wind out of my sails at the end there, but yeah. Uh, yeah. Wow, you were really man. You just deflated me, bro. You just took like it was like a Tom and Jerry moment almost. You just took a big shiny needle into my floating balloon. You just went pop.
Hey, bro. You snooze, you lose. I will say
Yeah,
one thing before
wow.
we get into the nitty gritty details, bro. Hey, listen, if you can't talk about Toji's greatness for hours at a time, bro, that sounds like a personal problem, and you need to reread.
Uh-huh.
Nah, but on a serious note, did this episode feel really short to anybody else?
Oh, dude,
Like,
dude, it felt so short. Oh my
I
god.
was, I was bamboozled, bro. So I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I was watching it, and I was like, okay, this is cool, this is cool. I'm enjoying myself. Kuroi's been kidnapped, bet. And then I see like the ending start, and initially, right, I'm watching it, I'm like, oh wow, they put the opening really late into this episode. That's crazy.
That
They usually
is,
don't do that.
yeah.
And then it clicked to me like, wait a second, this isn't how the opening looks or sounds. Wait, what? And I was just flabbergasted, bro, because it really felt like the episode was 5 minutes long.
I think they did it last episode too for the premiere. They just like put it right in the middle.
Yeah, they did. It was like 10 minutes into the episode. But the opening was pretty early on in the episode today. I'm just saying that like it felt so short to me that like my immediate assumption was not that the episode was ending, it was that, oh, we're only halfway through. It couldn't be possible that we're already done. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But yeah,
Huh.
it was.
I mean, for me, like, look, bro, I'm gonna say it. I've said it before. Got some flack, but it's one of those points that I just I gotta hold. All right.
Hmm.
I'm an intro hater. I'm an intro skipper. I don't like intros, right? So the later I get to see them, the better. Hell, just lump the intro and outro together and let me be on my way.
I bet, bro. You the type to. I mean, you have no patience. You
To this
watch
day,
videos at four
bro.
times speed. You
To
probably watch anime at 2 times speed.
I
You're
watch it at
just you're just
1.5x speed, sir.
yeah. I mean,
Anyway, bro, I
that's just
look.
wrong.
I've said this before to my friends, and I don't know if I've ever said it like on the podcast, right? I think no, I think I said it during the 12 hour. Wow, just very sudden flashback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The best intro of all time, and I mean like if you legally have to have one, right? If you have like no other choice, your editors, your studio, your company, your employer, any of these people are breathing down your neck, being like, no, you need to have an intro. The best one of all time is the Ultimate Spider-Man intro. It lasted for 3 seconds. Just a title card, a little web, and you're on your way. Boom, you're into the episode.
Sure, man. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Chad. Let me give you guys an analogy as to like what type of person this guy like
Okay.
Creams is right now, right? Like the reason I don't get up in arms, like sometimes you guys may wonder, Ronan, how are you so calm around this idiot? You know what I mean? He says such crazy stuff so much, right? How are you able to keep your cool? It's like this. It's like this, right? Creams is like a person who just insists that you should eat your food with your feet, right? You should use utensils with your feet, bro. Like he just does everything the wrong way. And at this point, I've gotten so like I've gotten so desensitized to just the wrong opinions, right? That him saying he watches anime at 1.5 times speed, I'm just like, well, of course you do, man. That's wrong, and you do it. Duh. So I mean, listen, I'm not the biggest fans of openings and endings, right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and posture like I'm some like, fanatic for them. But listen, bro, that you gotta at least give them both like one or two watches. You know what I mean? You can't be skipping intros and endings every single time, bro. You gotta watch it at least once. And saying like it's too long for like a 90-second segment of an episode is also just kind of crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That ADHD is ADHDing. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm gonna be real.
Look, bro,
Um,
I just want some nice, juicy animated adaptations of the manga. Is that so much to ask? Like,
hey, bro. I'm gonna hit you with a crazy idea, right?
oh my god.
The openings are part of that. Ooh, crazy, 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 wild, crazy, wild, crazy, insane idea, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, man. Have you considered that the openings and endings are part of the experience?
never.
Yeah, I know.
Never
But
once
yeah,
did it cross my mind.
yeah. You should think bigger. But yeah, yeah. Opening and ending. I mean, it's literally the same one as last time, but it's good. Good animation, good OST, good soundtrack. Not that you would know. But yeah, aside from that, I would just seeing the ending in what felt like such an early part of the episode just threw me for a loop, bro. I was just torn up. And it seems like this episode and last only covered two chapters worth of content, if I'm remembering correctly. It basically picks up, let me see, where does it pick up if I check the manga. It picks up from chapter 67 and it ends in terms of like content that is adapted. It ends on chapter 69. So yeah, two chapters adapted. And I guess it makes sense, right? To take it slow in the beginning half. You want to set up your characters, you want to set up the ideas. Like specifically like Rico and Toji are people that you want to make sure the audience cares about, is
Hmm.
invested in, or is like interested by. So adding all this extra content, like to make Toji seem cooler, to make Rico seem more sympathetic, I think it makes sense. And since the latter half of this arc is literally just um like Toji fighting Gojo and Ghetto, and like in Gojo's case multiple times, you don't really need all that much content to like for those last 1.5 episodes. You know what I mean? It's literally going to be just a lot of fighting almost from here on out. Um,
You think so?
I mean,
I mean,
so I
like,
think so. What up?
yeah. I was just gonna say the bad guy and the old man were kind of they were half the combat for this arc a little bit. The rest is
Yeah,
yeah, Toji just doing
sure.
his thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at though. That's
Hmm.
what I'm getting at is outside of like the Okinawa thing, as soon as they get back to Jujutsu High, the rest of it's fighting is what I'm getting at. And that's why you don't need very much time. Like those things can happen in the span of a couple of minutes, rather than like the span of episodes. You're not really, not that you're not moving the plot forward, but fights just, I mean, this is kind of common knowledge, but fights tend to just go a lot quicker. I was talking to Liv about this and I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we end, and this it's a little bit far-fetched, I will, because that would mean it's only adapting one chapter, right? But I'll just say this, I wouldn't be surprised if we end this episode, this next one, I mean, with Gojo getting stabbed, or like Toji just initially showing up, if only because the way the anime has been adapting stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if we just got a lot of like Okinawa content where we're seeing Rico, Gojo, and Geto like all kind of like exist together and kind of flesh
Yeah,
out Rico's character and
I
things like that.
I really hope they take their time, but simultaneously blast through it because it's a cool little segment or whatever. But I think for me, I'm just counting down the minutes until the real Jujutsu Kaisen kicks in. Because I forgot that Gege used to be the guy who would set up very lovable characters and scenarios only to rip them away very gruesomely.
Hmm.
Because the Culling games, actually no, since Shibuya, it's just been kind of like the ladder for a 50 chapter marathon and counting.
Hmm.
So it almost feels like an entirely different story when I'm rewatching the events unfold in the anime.
Hmm.
Uh, Also, I foolishly forgot that they like don't just exist within, a 2 meter radius of all these colonies. So I was seeing Toji at that like racetrack and getting his takoyaki, which by the way is a whole funny scene that I want to get into later, right? But I was like, dude, this shit feels so alive. Has JJK always been like this? Because from like when you read the manga, Gege's just like, this is what happens, this is what happens, this is what happens, right?
Hmm.
So it felt a little it was really cool to see those scenes in between and getting that like breathing room while simultaneously like really hitting with the fights and when shit hits the fan, it like goes into turbo mode.
Yeah, for sure. I will say I think Hidden Inventory, like I don't think it's a hot take to say that the anime adaptation of Hidden Inventory is probably going to be significantly better than the mangas. If only because I think it's simply going to do a lot of what the manga doesn't. So for example, it's not really a massive criticism, but it is more of like a ceiling cap in the manga where, it's just, oh God, we gotta get Kuroi, right? And then it's just like, boom, we got her. It's like, fine, fair. It's not that big of a deal. And then the Okinawa stuff. I think I'll put it like this. I think this is the type of story that would benefit a lot from building up these characters more and letting us have more time with them. Because like you said, when shit hits the fan, it really hits the fan. And I think things like Shibuya, I think things like Hidden Inventory work. Not just because of not just because the action itself is cool, right? Although it's interesting, it's fun, but I think it's like the action is accompanied by a lot of like sort of character reasons to be invested because of the time we spend with any particular character. And obviously I'll avoid spoilers for any anime onlys watching, but there are plenty of examples where the anime kind of pump fakes you better than the manga does. Like for example, people really seem to be attached to Junpei, myself included. But I've noticed that a large demographic of the people who were genuinely sad by Junpei's death were people that were anime onlys, right? It's people that kind of
Yeah,
saw the opening, they
saw him
saw
in the
Yuji and
uniform.
Junpei
Yeah.
interact more, like they saw them interact a little bit more. So then when that happens, right? It's not just like the tragedy isn't just that Yuji's feelings are hurt, right? The tragedy is also like a character that you actually kind of grown to not only like but expect more from is just boom, they're just taking out the story, ripped away, right? It's like, damn, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I
I think
fully.
the anime is
Yeah.
gonna benefit from that with Riko and
Uh,
Gojo and Toji and Geto and all of that.
I mean, it depends on how, like, depending on how they nail the final couple scenes of Hidden Inventory, at least the important ones. Uh, then I think it arguably has the potential to surpass the manga as far as telling that particular part of JJK's story. Um,
Mhm,
because Hidden Inventory is one of those arcs that's like it's very character driven, character focused, uh,
mhm,
and Gege is really good at that to a point. There's just something about JJK characters, JJK's environment, where you add that music, you add that ambiance, you add that visual aspect,
mhm.
and it just elevates the whole thing into this like this is a compliment, right? It's almost like a
Mhm.
soap opera as opposed to events happening in the manga, right? Like
Yeah,
important, almost moving events, but like still, I think there's an emotional difference in the execution.
I would agree. I think the anime, like a lot of my sort of criticisms of Gege at their base boil down to let some stuff cook a little bit more, let it simmer. And I think the anime does that. So it's almost like when I say it elevates JJK, I say that because I think it's already in the process of doing that with hidden inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, time will tell if it continues to do so. But I also think it's like it's an interesting little look into what I won't say prime is in like this is definitively better. I'll say what my perfect version of like Gege's writing style would look like. You know what I mean? It's like writing Jujutsu Kaisen with hindsight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it improves the story that I already enjoy, and I like that.
Yeah. Me too. I think like another big thing like to kind of carry on to that is like Gege gets to come in and tell them the stuff he was gonna cut because manga
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
And I think I saw it on Twitter. I didn't know it was like a gay thing. I thought it was an anime original, but I think I liked it either way.
Yeah.
And that was the scene with Toji, talking to the guy on the phone, in the lunchroom, right?
Hmm.
All the little subtle movements. First of all, of presenting Toji as a character because he's not apologizing to that guy. He's just stepping on the food, which, by the way, yikes, man, like crazy, like dick move. um,
Hey, listen, bro. Don't bump into Toji.
yeah, yeah, yes, you're right. It was that guy's fault. How whatever. And the way he conducts himself, him looking over at the television to see if he had won the bet that he placed while blowing the guy off. I don't know it was a
Hmm.
lot more like I said, it was a lot more alive than it was
Hmm.
in the manga, and it simply didn't need to be, right. I could definitely see a worse version of this that was just literally adapting the manga, which I
Hmm.
think for a story like JJK is to the detriment of the anime, because you have more time, use it.
You have more time, and that's exactly. I agree. I say this sometimes when I'm talking about like other anime that I think are fine, but I like generally have the opinion that they are not as great as they could be. Like I mentioned this a lot. I use Blue Lock and Hell's Paradise as a bad example, but they're really just kind of what you said. It's like a lot of anime get in the thing of like recreating, right? Whereas I feel like instead of adapting or like it's like they recreate panel to panel type of movement. It's like this was done here, so I'll do this here without much regard for the medium, or for like how they could improve it with their hindsight, like foreshadowing. Like for example, a small thing that was just rearranged and completely changes like how well this idea is foreshadowed is Geto and Gojo both acknowledging that they can't use reverse curse technique earlier in the arc.
Yeah,
Whereas in the manga, that's never said, right? The
yeah,
moment that we learn Gojo can't use reverse curse technique is the moment he actually has already done it versus Toji. Um,
yeah.
like,
uh
and so having both of them be like, yeah, no, Shoko just be saying like just random shit, and we
yeah.
don't understand her, and then
Uh-huh.
having Gojo try to use red and then fail builds up to the eventual success better than just having him succeed. And it's not bad in the manga. Obviously, it's a really hype scene. It's really fun. But the anime now knows where Gege is gonna go with that. Now has that full context. It can basically look at it from that like hindsight point of view with the actual author himself and be like, cool, let's move this around here so that all of this makes more sense in a sort of continuous fashion.
I agree 100%. And another thing that's like, uh, in addition, it's okay. So when Gojo like tries to use red, right? I don't
Mm,
know how you interpreted the scene, but for me, it felt like he was actually almost about to use red, but then like he just couldn't, close the deal, right? So there is another interpretation of this, and I'm curious if that's the one you had, where this was purely visual effect for us, right? Like
yes,
the
a hundred
manga
percent,
reader, right?
100%.
Where it's like, we know what it's supposed to look like, and we know like what it's supposed to do. Uh,
Mhm.
and it was funny because like it felt like the guy on the receiving end probably didn't see that red flash of light or any of that happening. So he was probably just like seeing Gojo point at him with his fingers. So yeah,
Yeah.
did you see the red as an attempted red, or did you see it as like I don't know, Easter egg or like fan service?
So so it's kind of tough, and I was actually talking about this too right after I watched the episode. But like I think that the animators put that in, and I think in universe Gojo is supposed to have like lit the room up, but like failed, right? But I think when you look at it from the perspective of somebody who knows how like curse technique reversals work, who knows how red works, right? It doesn't really, and this is like kind of a nitpick, but I also don't care. I just interpret it kind of closer to the second thing you said as like a visual metaphor almost. Not a visual metaphor, Easter egg, I guess is the way you put it. But when you look at it as red requires you to know how to do reverse
Reverse
curse
curse
technique
technique,
and
yeah.
make positive energy. So I'm like, what does Gojo kind of make positive energy? You know what I mean? That doesn't even make sense in this
Yeah.
context. So like while I'm not gonna complain, right? I think it's significantly more visually interesting to have the red actually show up in the anime than not. However, if I were to like just truly nitpick and be some joyless bastard. I would be like, yeah, yeah, no, he actually shouldn't have shown any light there because red doesn't work that way. Like, no, I just think the anime is making a small, relatively innocuous concession. Because like in the manga, right, you only have black and white, and I guess you have gray tones occasionally, right?
Yeah.
So the contrast of having Gojo put up his finger and have nothing show up, it works really well in manga, right? But in anime, it works to your benefit to have those colors show up and then fade out as like an indication that it didn't work or it wasn't completed. So I think it works for the anime. I think it's perfectly fine. But
Mm.
I look at it when I look at it from the manga reader's perspective, or just from a super nerdy JJK fan's perspective. I'm like, no, that was just for me. That was just
Yeah,
that was just
that was just
visual for
for
us.
it, yeah.
That nothing popped up. It just makes everything easier if nothing did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I
Um
look at it.
Also, Jerome, I appreciate the 35. Next episode shit about to be crazy, and I'll agree with you. You don't have to donate, man. Like this is a members only thing. You're already here. Just chill, you know. Let's
We appreciate it though.
yeah. I appreciate the sentiment
Thank
as
you.
always and the support.
Thank you, thank you,
Appreciate
thank
Jerome.
you.
Um, I'm gonna say
But
this
yeah,
before we move on to like predictions for next episode. Um, I've officially decided. I know 2 episodes in might be a little bit too presumptuous, but I'm gonna lock in. Right.
mm-hmm.
I love the additional scenes. All right. I think they are the
Oh,
best
Jesus.
part of this adaptation. Like maybe the music or whatever, but honestly, the bonus material is where it's at for me.
Bro has come in with a super milk toast taste.
Yes, sir.
That's just
That's
crazy.
me, dude.
Bro
Yum.
said, "Here, let me put a
Straight from
generic
the
opinion on
cow.
the table, bro."
Bro, straight from the
Um,
cow's milkers.
I mean, yeah, I think you'll disagree as soon as you see like Gojo and Toji fight. Like I feel like I think in these slice of life moments for sure, I 100% agree. But I'm also gonna be like, what can the anime add realistically, right, within the confines of where the story's at? That's going to be cooler to me than Toji and Gojo fighting. Like really nothing. I do think though in these slice of life moments, that like the anime just as no, I don't want to say that in like a way of putting Giga down. So I'll just say the anime does it for me in this way. I really do enjoy it. And I think the anime is just being a very accessible way to get into JJK. I'm probably going to like it's just looking good, man.
It
Like
really
I,
is.
I'm really happy to finally watch an anime and be like, wow, I would tell somebody to watch the anime instead of reading the manga, right?
Yeah.
The manga's great, but the anime is greater so far. So far, obviously, pound for pound, I can't speak to later, but like as of right now, I'm just like the anime is just looking like what everybody should consume. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. I would even like. I'd say the best part is that it lets us recommend the anime to like regular people, like
Hmm.
non-manga freaks like us.
Yeah, for sure. I
Because I
think the
like
way.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, because like I got all my personal friends into JJK, and like maybe 2 of them out of
Mm-hmm.
the whole collective decided to pick up the manga, and that was only after incessant badgering on my part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the anime is like it has a much lower barrier to entry while still retaining all the quality of the story. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I 100% agree. Um,
uh,
I'm
just broke your
I'm
shit.
rocking with a lot of this stuff.
Um,
There it. Hmm?
yeah, I was just reading some of the chat.
Oh, okay.
Landa actually mentioned, yeah, the Toji chopstick scene was hilarious because bro, that was a perfectly good takoyaki piece.
Mm,
Just eat it, bro. Like
yeah.
that hurt my feelings a little bit as a chef, but also I think it was actually Landa who pointed it out. Um, the way he arranged the sticks in the takoyaki was it sort of looked down upon in Japan because it emulates like a funeral offering with
Mm.
I forgot what they're called, but the things that like light up in smoke, uh, incense I
A,
think they're
a
called.
pot. Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah. God. Yeah. So he put the chopsticks in the same way
For the
as
six size, right?
yeah. So it's funny. When I was looking for thumbnails for this episode, like going through the episode, right? I had to slow down the video a little bit to like 0.5 ish speed, just so I can get a still. And there's this
Okay.
one scene where Toji was like not. Let me rephrase. That guy was trying to confront Toji, and Toji just sort of appears in front of him.
Yeah.
So when I first watched it, right, that kind of went by in a blur for me, kind of in the same way as that guy. So when I went back to watch that scene at 0.5x speed, I didn't realize he was like sweating and shivering.
Of course he was, bro.
Bro, I was like, no way.
Just imagine for a second, right? Toji just confronts you. Like you bump into somebody, right? You're like, oh, I can't let this slide, bro. That's disrespectful, right? You turn around and it's just like you don't know why, but all of your instincts are telling you that fighting this guy means you're gonna die, right? You can't tell, right? Because you're not a sorcerer, you're not anything. You're just some guy. You're just some guy who wanted ramen, bro.
Yep.
But every fiber of your being is saying, confront this man any further, and you will literally not live to tell that story.
Yep.
I'd be shaking and sweating too. Like, obviously, if I were a normal person, like me personally, I ain't letting that slide. But like, I can understand how like some random guy would just be like shook off that. I'm not gonna lie to you, because bro really bumped into Toji. Toji didn't move, and he just sprawled on the floor, just collapsed. I'm like, that's unfortunate, bro.
Yeah, it could never be me, but I get it.
Gotta just say it stuff, bro.
You know what's funny about that though? In the little editor's note or whatever that this scene was based on from Gege, apparently Toji was supposed to help out that guy,
and
like
apologize,
help,
right?
and apologize. Yeah, I was just like, no, this seems more in character for Toji.
I saw one interpretation, and I kind of like this as like a middle ground. Is like Toji kind of kneeled down to him to see if he was really about it, and if he was, he would have just like if he was like, he's like, oh no, you're real, I'll get you some ramen. But he just backed out, so he's like, yeah, I'm glad I dropped your ramen on the floor. Now I'm gonna step on that too. Stepping on it after the fact is crazy, bro.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of like that seems like a Sukuna-ism. Just to be like a prick like that. Like obviously Sukuna, I don't think would make that, offer in the first place. But there's just something so like grimy about the way that like once he confirms the guy won't do anything, that he'll just like step on his food.
Sukuna would have killed the guy for daring to touch him. I'm not gonna lie to
Look
you.
at him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, whoa. Why are you not on your knees right now praying to me? I don't know if you maybe you don't know who I am. I'm Ryomen Sukuna. Nice to meet you. No, but I think it's kind of funny though.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, people forget this, and I have to reiterate this, right? But people forget this because like Toji's cool, but he's a very, very, very bad person.
He is, bro.
Like,
Hey, dude,
it's like, dude.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I remember I got in like hot water a little bit on Twitter because somebody was like thirsting over Toji, or it was some like I think they chibified or babyfied or like yassified some kind of ifification of Toji, and I responded to it with like, oh, I remember they said he was seeing heaven. And I took that shit personally for some reason.
I mean, like, canonically he's there, but I don't know what to tell you.
Like he shouldn't be, right? Because like the activities this guy did in this arc alone, again, not getting into spoilers, right, are just so like out of pocket that I would have to question the deity that gave him entrance. Like, insane.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, sometimes, listen, here's the thing, right? I'm not mad at people forgetting about that. It happens, but like, Toji is very, very, like, irrefutably a bad person. Like, I mean, even just him being willing to take this job speaks volumes, right?
Yeah.
Hey, here's this middle schooler. Take her out. Like, bro,
he's like,
what?
Bet. I mean, the money good?
Yeah, he literally said, cool. He's like, oh, there are 2 teenagers protecting her? I might have to kill those too? Bet.
Yep.
That's fine with me. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, cool.
I
guess my job's a little bit more difficult, but like, whatever. I don't have a moral issue with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a good guy,
and
right? He's a cool guy.
Bro, forgot his own son's name. Like, what are we doing here? The broker for this random Q organization, he knows Megami's name before Toji. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, I get
Megami
it.
doing? He said,
Look, I get it. Toji's got a bit of a chest, all right? But does that forgive everything? I'm sincerely asking, does that literally canonically forgive everything?
Yes. If you're asking not my opinion, but canon, yeah.
It's
He's in
just
heaven.
wow.
He's got a halo, bro. He's chilling. He literally is chilling. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
You know, Landa, you bring up a great point. What Toji, Megami's mother had to have been like a literal saint, like actually sent from heaven to get this guy to chill the fuck out.
Mm, I was gonna. My mind went to something a little different, but yeah, a saint
No,
also could work.
I
Yeah.
mean I went there, but bro, I
Because like, listen, bro,
love being
I'm not gonna.
monetized, bro.
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this very, very generally, bro. Being a good person is not necessary. Not necessarily. I mean, maybe, but all I'll say is it's not a coincidence that as soon as she left, he left, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence either.
Yeah, that's a very innocent interpretation. Like, oh my god, she must have been. I don't doubt that she was nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, you think that was the factor? Oh,
Uh,
oh,
um,
oh man.
okay.
Yeah,
Drum Simmons again. Appreciate the 35, man. I don't know if you heard the first night. You don't have to do this.
bro's gonna keep discouraging. He said, "No, we don't want your donations." Listen,
like I don't want
he
him to
speaks
think
for
he
him.
has to, bro. And I don't even
I
know.
speak for us.
Oh,
You don't have to. We do appreciate it.
thank you though.
If you're an oil prince, bro,
Yeah.
listen. I need some gas in my car too. You know what I mean? Like, listen, bro. I'm not mad at it.
What is it like?
But we do
$90 a
appreciate it
gallon
though.
for you over there?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You know, this might
But
be the
anyways,
symbol for you to take that plunge and get one of those smart cars that has like one seat in it, runs on vegetable oil.
yeah, bro. That'll do me great. Um, nah, but on a real note, you know who else is a jerk? Gojo. Gojo's just like
Loki.
Gojo is just not like, and obviously, right? That's part of his character development. I like, look at him as a teenager, look at him as an adult, right? He's not a super nice person as an adult, but bro is just so crass with some of the stuff he says. Like he grabs Rico and he's like, "Hey, listen, curse users, you don't want any of your friends to get killed, do you?" I'm like, Jesus, bro. I
Yeah.
get it. That is the case, but like this is literally
Bro.
she's about to go merge with some random person that she probably has never met, right?
She's an
And
orphan
literally
too.
stop being herself
Yeah.
forever. And you said, "Hey, listen, bro. I know I just cut you off in the middle of your day. We're dipping and we're taking you now, right? Unless
Yep.
unless you want your friends to die." And I'm like, Jesus.
Bro, you know what it is? Like adult Gojo wouldn't like he's not this cocky. Like you wouldn't think that based on some of the dialogue he has with like the curses and Gakuganji, but like Teen Gojo was on like he was on some antagonistic timing for real. Like he
Yeah.
really didn't care. And it's crazy because like if the mentalities were reversed with their respective power levels, dog, adult Gojo powers with teen Gojo mentality, he would actually be he would be a supervillain. Like straight up.
I saw this interesting comment about the first episode saying like, it's funny how Gojo was just like a few steps in the wrong direction from being like Sukuna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And
listen, bro, I'm not gonna I'm gonna be
worse,
honest with
yeah.
you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Geto is a huge part of like keeping him on the straight and narrow, if I may. Geto is just such a he's just like
Damn, and you got on
obviously
me
he has
for
this
a
like
milk toast take. That's crazy, bro. Did you
I
get,
listen, bro.
bro, that went
Yeah,
straight from the
it's
dairy
just like
farm.
Geto is just such a responsible guy for the most part. You know what I mean? Tessero made this comment to me. He's like, it's funny how Geto like basically avoids almost all like surrounding damage or casualties or anything like that, right? With his technique, the only one being like some glass being broken by the random curse user. But Gojo goes out of his way to like just shatter half of a building in order to like try to shoot Red off, and I'm like, yeah, bro,
No,
it's
come on,
small
bro.
moments like that speak
Like,
to how different they are.
let's be real. Gojo wasn't doing that to try to fire off a Red. He was just doing that to do that. Like, you know what I mean?
He's doing it to flex, like
Yeah.
obviously, but I think Red was part of the flex. Like you didn't need, bro. You knocked them out with a punch. You don't need Red. Bro,
And
just
bro, you
bro
kept
just
him
started
suspended.
trying shit.
Like, okay, like getting into that specific sequence, right? Dog, the way the Infinity was like animated, I'm like, I can see why this would be annoying to be on the receiving end of, right? Because this guy just like controls all the space around you. You know, like what are you doing? You're just floating there because he wants you to. And on top of that, he's not letting you move. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna take my time and really aim carefully for my reverse curse technique.
Oh
like
yeah,
like
and you just gotta
bro,
sit there like, oh my god, bro.
like hurry up.
Yeah, I'd be
uh,
mad. I'd be heated. Um,
Cause like
yeah,
like
man.
you can't run away. What, who you looking to? Gravity's not here. Gravity's not
Yeah,
helping
bro.
you.
I'd simply not let him do that to me. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest though. I wouldn't let that. I
Mm.
wouldn't let that slide. Not from Teen Gojo, especially, bro. What do you mean you can't use? What do you mean you can't use red, bro? I ought to beat your ass for that. Um, but
um
yeah,
um
yeah.
Teen Gojo is like a school bully who knows you can't beat him if you tried. I mean,
I mean, yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Geto always said, you know, we're the strongest to Gojo. Like,
Hmm.
so I always wondered, right? Did they ever spar like to like exhaustion? And like, what would that even look like? Like how many cursed spirits and how powerful a crop would Geto need at this stage in his life for him to be equal to get Teen Gojo, like confidently equal?
So there's a bunch of different interpretations of like that in and of itself, right? One is obviously taking it as me and you are the strongest together, right? So that's one. We are the strongest individually. Like you're number one, I'm number two. So like Geto doesn't necessarily have to be even to Gojo. He just has to be the other strongest person.
Mm,
Kind of like Naobito was the fastest
fastest,
sorcerer
yeah.
alive, besides
Go,
Gojo,
yeah,
whatever.
right.
So it's like one of those things. It could be that now. It could mean that they're equal, but I do think that Toji's like seriousness regarding like Geto, like you'll see in the way he's planning, right? Has
Mm-hmm.
bro even mentioned Geto? It's just Gojo, Gojo, Gojo. The
Yeah.
six size, the limitless. Like bro didn't even he hasn't brought up his name, right?
Yeah, no,
Um,
he literally does not like he's not sparing a second thought towards Geto. Like for him, the job is done when Gojo's down, which I find endlessly hilarious, right? Like for
yeah.
him, it's like it's almost as if sometimes killing Rico is secondary because it's at that point it's just a matter of when, not if he gets
Yeah,
to
one
her.
foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
I will say though, this is another interpretation, right? And this is something I think about like a lot of anime fights, specifically JJK. Like I think it is very possible to be stronger than somebody, but not be able to beat them because of technique matchup. Not stronger, but like in the same plane. Like maybe Geto and Gojo are very relative, but because of the limitless, like it's in different ways, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like Geto can't beat Gojo, but Geto can fight like basically the same tier of opponent that Gojo can. It's like
Mm.
Gojo's technique is very particularly tricky to get around for most people. But yeah, he can't beat them, but they are individually still at the top of their game. I personally hold the interpretation that when he says we are the strongest, I am looking at it from a like conjoined me and you together are unbeatable type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah.
and I yeah, that's how I
Yeah,
feel about it.
yeah, I've been seeing the sentiment in chat a little bit, and you guys like I want to just combine them into this like response, right? If
Hmm.
Gojo was a real person, and assuming all of Jujutsu and all this stuff was like real, but you know you were just a regular person, Gojo would still be an obnoxious person to meet in the wild. Not only because of a how he looks, b how tall he is, c the fact that like if you do any activity with him, you know he's going to be better than you at it. Um, and again, this is all not getting into like knowing about jujutsu, right? It's like imagine going through all that, like getting to know Gojo on like a human to human level, seeing how amazing he is, right? And being like, no, something's got to be wrong with this guy, right? And you find out about like this massive like power system in the world or whatever, and then
Hmm.
realizing he's still the strongest guy in the world. Like not only is he better than you, he's better than everybody. I imagine that must have like crushing self esteem implications.
Hey, bro, listen. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna be eating when that bet goes around. Listen, when that wager for the world, bro. You know, yeah. Listen. All I'm gonna say is I'm not betting on Gojo in that one, bro. That's how I'm gonna get my vengeance.
Don't do this, bro.
That's how I'm
Don't.
gonna listen. I'm talking about
The
from a
wound is
person that's
still
in the world.
fresh.
I'm talking about if I'm in the world, right? I I'm like no, not on Gojo. I'm not betting on you, bro. I'm gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you cook anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, you gonna pull up your sleeves and get down to business?
Uh, maybe I'll throw a rock at him or something after a domain to kind of try to help out. But I mean, listen, bro, I don't think I need to. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm?
Listen, if I stepped in, I'd handle it, right?
Oh my god.
But I want to give his opponent a chance. You know, I want to let him cook a little bit.
Yeah. So you famously would put the pause on Gojo if he was real.
Ob-
I forgot,
Obviously,
bro.
bro. Like, duh. Like,
My
I
bad.
don't know if you noticed an addendum every time Gojo says he's the strongest. He says besides Broken Ronin. Like that's what he says. It's in the fine print, so sometimes I
Fuck.
understand how people gloss over that. But yeah, besides me,
Mhm.
that's what he says.
Also sleep. Jeez. Drum Simmons, thank you. God, I did it automatically. That's hilarious.
Mm.
um, I heard him donating. No, I just wanted you to know that like this you didn't have to, right? Do whatever you want. BR obviously has his own opinion on the matter. But donate or don't donate. It's up to you. But I just wanted you to know that like you don't have to for memberships. And you don't have to at all. But we
Yeah, that's what I
appreciate
was.
you.
I'm like,
Yeah, like we appreciate you nevertheless, right? And we appreciate you wanting to donate again. We you're a day oneer for real. Appreciate you, bro.
yeah, thank you, thank you,
Um,
thank you. It's funny saying like you don't have to donate here does imply a need to
yeah,
donate
yeah.
other
I
elsewhere.
caught
It's
it
like,
as I was speaking, and I was like, oh wait, hold on, like you don't have to donate at all. This, that's what I meant.
no, bro, show up and give me money now. It's like, all right. No, but
um,
thank you,
mm.
Drum Simmons.
Oh, also, yeah, Spirit. Yum 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 yum. What are you gonna do? You gonna stop me from glazing, bro? I bring my own chapstick to the party.
Okay. Anywho, yeah, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm enjoying my time. Thursdays end up being nice JJK days, bro. They end up being real nice, real fun. Um,
Oh, hey
yeah.
Tessero, welcome to the Honored Ones membership.
Oh
Um,
damn, that sure broke through the barrier. You
uh,
love to see it.
yeah, you certainly do. Why I'm scrolling Twitter and Creams put Toji's feet on the timeline because what he did was rude, bro. Like he didn't need to do it like that, but he chose to, and I just thought that was insane.
Dreams is offended because like Toji would do this to him, I think.
Literally, he would. And also, bro, I would
And
be.
that
I no, you don't
and you would let it
understand, bro.
happen, bro.
I would be in shambles over that ramen. Like, I, I'm like, you know how what was that line? No spoilers, but like there was this line that a character said in the manga. It was like, uh, uh, no, that wasn't the line. Never mind. I'm just waffling. I misremembered the line. Basically, the sentiment is like, oh, not from JJK. It's from Hunter x Hunter, where he's like, where Gon is like, I'll give up everything.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd be like,
Hmm.
I look at that bowl of ramen on the floor, shattered. I look at Toji and I'd be like, fuck it.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
that was a whole uneaten, fresh bowl of ramen. You're telling me you would just let that slide? You just let it rock?
No, I'd literally beat Toji's ass. That's what I'm telling you. Like I'm telling you that like I'm not cowering in fear. I'm putting him in the ground, bro. I don't he's not listen, bro. Oh damn, I heard you over I overheard you talking about some bounty, bro. Listen, you're not him. I'll take it up. Like at that point, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna hit up Kong, right? I'm be like, hey, bro, what is the mission and how much money do I get for completing it? And then I'm handling business myself, bro. Toji not necessary. He's not stepping to me like that. It's just not
Dude,
happening.
yeah, even if I didn't want to go like the crazy powerful route, I'm just gonna look at Toji and be like, you know what, bro? Japanese healthcare is free, but that ramen wasn't. Put him up.
Hey, bro, I'll visit you in the hospital. Um, cause that's
It's a
listen,
hard
bro.
line, but like it's like okay, it's a
It,
hard
it's it's only a hard line if it's not accompanied by you ending up in that free healthcare system, bro. It's like, listen, bro, if you end up going to the very hospital that you mentioned is free, like
Look,
that's rough. And
it's a hard line, right? But it just not so much the content of it, or the context of it's a theoretical hard line.
yeah, like if you weren't like if I said that, right, it'd be
Oh my
cool.
god.
But if you said that, it's like it's ironic. You know what I mean? Um, Because what he's gonna do is he's going to beat you up, right? Send you to the hospital, take your wallet, and then buy a bowl of ramen for himself, right? It's just a double whammy. You
Dog,
just don't want that, bro.
tell me why when Toji went to go make himself some tea while he was still on the phone, I like my heart fluttered a little bit, and I was like, oh, he's gonna get him a new bowl while he's still on the phone. That's so nice. No, he did the exact opposite of that. Like he didn't just not do that. He went out of his way to be a prick about it.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Unbelievable, man.
I mean, he should, like, I'm telling you this, like, if you weren't willing to go to war, you literally should not have fought Toji or like bumped into him even. Like, because what are you doing, bro? Look at your surroundings, idiot. Either be ready for the smoke or be aware of your surroundings. Pick one. Pick one. Come on. Like, God, bro. People these days are just always in your phones, man. Nah.
He was holding an entire tray of food. You know what I think happened? I think that guy was expecting a very light bump because, that's what happens when humans bump into each other, like, normally. But Toji's basically a steel wall walking around, so the guy wasn't expecting that much give.
Yeah. He just boom. What the hell?
I was like, why didn't you bend?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. And the worst thing is too, like, is imagine you're a regular human, right? And things escalate. You're like, all right, bro, this ain't a curse tool, but it should get the job done. And then he just dodges. You just fire, bang, just dodges, bro.
Yep.
Like, you imagine being ready to take it to its last extent, and he's just like, what is a bullet? Who do you think I am, bro?
Literally,
I'm not normal. I'm not regular.
Bro, I'd be so mad too because, like, let's say I got like sorcerer powers and I was like 3rd or 2nd grade, right? I'm now objectively stronger than like 99.9% of humans on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Except for this guy still. Like, the gap between me being like a normal person and bumping into him and me as like a grade 3 or grade 2 sorcerer might as well be the same thing to him.
I mean, let's be real, bro.
I'd be furious, bro.
Let's be real. There are some grade 1s I can think of, and I won't say them because it's going to further the agenda that I hate this character. But there are some grade 1s that could bump into Toji and basically get the same reaction, bro. But yeah, I mean, imagine thinking like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he just did, right? You're about to flex maybe you had a bad day at work, right? One of your friends just got blown up by a curse or something, right? You're really not having it. And this guy just bumps into you. So you don't fall down because you're a sorcerer, right? But it moves your shoulder a little bit. You're like, oh, nah. You picked the wrong day to mess with me. And then you just wake up in an alley the next day. You're just like, what? Like, you just don't know. It just goes dark. Everything goes dark. You just wake up in an alley, bro. I'd be like, wow. That's dude, actually insane.
Like, no, dude. It's not that I'd be in shambles, right? No, I'd be in pieces, right? Like little microscopic atomic pieces, bro. I would just be like, all right, bro, retirement.
I'd pull a gun. I would sacrifice dude, all of the curse energy that I will ever have. I will be like, I will give up all the curse energy I will ever produce in my life. Right, for all of that power right now, and I'm finding Toji. Me and him have that. Like, listen, I could not be a sorcerer and think I just lost to a normal human. It couldn't happen. It could not happen, bro. I don't need to be a sorcerer anymore because after this I'm retiring. But I need all that curse energy up front right now. Because
you know what it is, right? If you get all this power and it's the same guy running up on you like this with the same amount of effort, then what's the point, right? Just go back to square one. Like, it wasn't doing you any favors to begin with.
Yeah. And exactly. It's like, okay, bro, listen, everything. This is a limit breaking, but if imagine you get beat again, you used all your curse energy and he's still stronger. And it's just like, wow. Bro, I actually never had potential. That's crazy.
Yeah. You just be like, man, I could probably destroy a building or something, but I guess that's nothing to this guy. Hey,
yeah.
Oh, actually, Spirit, you bring up a great point, right? If a guy with Toji's build just takes a bullet, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, bro, that is not fair. You can't be above bullet level. That's you're just breaking the rules. All right. Guns are like they're that's it. That's supposed to be
That's
the thing.
literally
Yeah.
that's like yeah no bro. The imagine because you know what what's funny, like
Mm.
even more so than the immediate fear that would grip my heart as I realize I'm about to die, right? I'd be so embarrassed. Like
Literally.
it's so 'cause, dude, imagine you bring it to weapons and you just like you still you like bro, that's embarrassing. That's humiliating.
It's unbelievable. Like, bro, now I kind of want you to.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, no, actually take my life.
like
And the worst thing Toji could do is just like just pat you on the shoulder and then just walk off.
literally, and just
Just
get
like you aren't even
no,
worth
not even that, bro.
ah.
He if he catches the bullet and places it back in your palm and just walks away
Oh
while
no
still
no no
being on
no
the phone,
no.
bro. I,
No no no
bro,
no no
I'm
no nah 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 no because I don't know bro listen I don't know what I'm liable to do but it's I'm finding some heavier artillery bro. I because you can't you can't catch it, place it back in my hand, and then just walk past me like I didn't do that. No, 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 impossible.
bro,
That would
bro, I'd be
I would.
so heated because you know what would add insult to injury, and this
Hmm.
is like something I just thought of, right? Nobody would believe me. Not a
Yeah,
single
he just
person would
yeah.
believe me.
You would just anybody. You would just be stuck in there, knowing for a fact that there is at least one. What's crazy is you would never know how many other people are like this too,
Yeah.
right? But you would just know that at least one person in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wish you just boom fired, and they could catch it, bro. And because they looked normal,
Mm-hmm.
you will never ever in your life know if there's more of them out there. There aren't, right? But imagine you get into a confrontation in the future, you bump into somebody, you're simply you're simply losing all confidence you've ever had in yourself
Yeah.
because what if this is another one of those freaks?
Because it's like once is already too many times for this to have
Once is
happened.
too many times.
It's no, no. I I'm you know what it's gonna be. It's like, look, man, just before we start this, you're not bulletproof, right? And you can't catch them either. Like bullets would work on you. Like you just like, sure. You're like, all right, okay. I'm not gonna use a gun, but like, thank you.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna cheat, like, but I just need to know that it's
Yeah.
possible, right? If we take it there, I need to know that it finishes the job.
Right. He's,
Nah, yeah.
if the guy's like, yeah, man, but if you do it, I'm gonna like I'm strapped up too, and you're like, wait, you need a gun? Let's go.
Nah, yeah, it's like, oh, thank God, bro. Thank God, thank God, thank God. It's like, oh, you carry around weapons. That means you aren't one yourself. Nice. This is what I needed, bro. This is what I needed.
And the crazy part is, like Toji, like uses weapons.
Yeah, bro, he uses weapons. He uses weapons. Yeah, he
Like,
said, yeah, no, listen, I'm different, but like, come on, bro. Everybody's gotta have a piece. Come on now. Come
yeah.
on.
Do you have any idea how handy these things are?
Yeah, he's like, listen, they're not gonna work on me, but I mean they're useful. Come on now. Like, let's
It's
be
like
honest.
it's like, bro, okay, sit down, imagine this for a second, right? Me plus a gun, right?
I mean, that's a
Like,
pretty broken combination.
yeah.
Um,
You know, if I think Toji like can get really far with like a Mai's technique, but like similar amount of cursed energy that rather with no cursed energy, right? Or rather the level of heavenly restriction he has right now. So if he's just able to eke out only that one bullet a day, but still has the rest of his like stats, man, you're talking about a very lethal guy. That's like at least special grade curse level. Toji with like one extra bullet,
I mean, bro, I'll be honest with you. You don't need the bullet.
you know.
Keep the bullet. Just have Toji with his fists. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I mean, he picked up a stick, sharpened it, and said, "All right, I can work with this." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's clearly like advanced. He knows what he's doing. Real quick though, I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Yeah.
You entertain
Oh,
chat. I'll be right back.
Spirit, watching Toji tank a bullet that he then pulls out a weapon. Then he pulls out a jeez, I cannot read this chat. Oh my god. Then he pulls out a weapon from thin air, simply ascending to heaven immediately. Dude, don't even get me started. If I see a guy with like an invincible body, weapons, and a magic satchel or hammer space, I might think I'm in like a Looney Tunes like existential nightmare. Like you don't understand that I simply will not be okay. My sanity will be questioned by myself, mind you. Like I will not be the same man that I was going into this confrontation. So after Toji, I would run into Wild Creams and run for my life. What do you mean? um, let's see. Sacrifice all and what's the fully let's see. The hotel hallways looked like The Shining. They kind of did. It might be an homage. I know Mappa is they're really big into like films and recreating some film scenes. So I wouldn't be surprised if they used the Shining movie as a creative reference. Hey, wait, could Toji's fists work to kill cursed spirits if he was wearing Yuta's ring? Manga readers sub Toji for you know too. Um, Probably right. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't think Toji would need much. I think give him like very, very, very slightly cursed tools like brass knuckles or something, and just watch him go to work. He'll pack up a lot of curses. Like I think really where he'd stop is probably Hanami level with just like that curse tool. You know what I mean? So he can definitely you can definitely get a lot of Toji. Let me rephrase. You can get a lot more Toji mileage depending on the weapon you give him going into the kerfuffle.
I come back and the first thing I hear you say is kerfuffle, bro.
Yeah. Drop the kerfuffle on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying, if you give Toji like the most basic cursed tool, like very like grade 4 brass knuckles, just to touch cursed spirits, right? But the rest was just on him. He can stop at like Hanami level before it gets like dangerous for him. But at that point, it just augments him with any other cursed tool, and you'll get like a lot of mileage from Toji. Like I think giving him his primary weapons against any of the disaster curses, like you're at least bumping him up like 2 grades.
I mean, I agree. I think you can make an argument for Toji with like his normal arsenal, like obviously in his prime and stuff like that. Being being someone that should be considered a special grade or considered in that same dimension. Like if you don't want to say he makes the cut, maybe sure, but I could be convinced and probably do think that there is a special grade or two that he's stronger than. But yeah, I mean, I agree. He's mopping the floor with most cursed spirits in existence. Even with like relatively regular curse tools.
Yeah, same here. Overall, man, I was really happy with the episode. It was really cool to see Gojo and Geto just off screen, those losers at the beginning. It was sweet to see Riko doing her thing, trying to live some semblance of a life before she has to merge with Tengen. It was awesome getting to see Toji. And like, you know what this was? I think for me, and let me know how you feel, right? This episode was enhanced by me being a manga reader. But I think if this was in a vacuum, I'd just be like, oh, this was a nice little episode. But I think on its own, it doesn't hit that same like, whoa, as like episode 1. Maybe because the novelty's worn off a little bit, but
the novelty of it being back.
Yeah, I mean, last episode I was like, yeah, it's simply like part of it is just the shock that JJK is back,
Yeah, I get what you mean. And I think I agree. Like, I think also just there's something very show-stopping about 10 minutes of content that just wasn't in the manga at all. Very impressive. Whereas in this one, it's a little bit less. It's a little bit more nuanced or a little bit more subtle. But I still think it's good nonetheless. I still very, very much enjoyed it. To me, it's gotten like an 8 out of 10 out of me. 8, maybe 9. I could be convinced. It's very good, but it's not too crazy. I guess I just know what's coming up next.
Yeah, I'm gonna save my 9s and 10s for after.
Fair enough. What does it get, an 8 out of you?
Yeah, just like a solid 8. It's not like bad, I don't want to sit here and say an 8 is a bad score by any stretch of the imagination. Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagination. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
I was gonna let you slide. What? Anyways. Anywho, yeah, I liked it. Good episode. I'm excited to see
the next
how the next one's pan out. Yeah. I think the next one is probably going to be a little bit slower in the beginning and middle, and then it's gonna pick up towards the end. So that and the last 2 episodes are probably gonna be what everybody's looking forward to. I'm very curious. I gotta try to find me some anime only spaces just to like kind of gauge reactions because obviously I know how manga readers feel about it for the
Mhm.
most part. I want to see like how someone who is just getting to this arc feels about it because it's relatively short, very straight to the point. But I'm curious like how people end up feeling about Toji, Rico, Gojo, and Geto at this point in the story, and how all of them develop and change and stuff like that.
Yeah. Um. Overall, fun times to be a JJK fan, man. Um. Not so much like right now as a manga fan. Gege going on break next week. Sad
Yeah,
sight. I
very unfortunate.
haven't stopped crying, but hey, what can you do?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, bro, anime's coming out. I don't need that guy anyways. Gigi, I'm joking. But like, kinda, only kinda. Like, I'm joking a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, bro,
Uh,
we said it last week, and I want to triple down, right? Just so like people who watch both episodes don't like think we're switching up, but like, bro, Gege is simply not allowed to go on hiatus for the 3 weeks in between each core. Like I'm not letting him do that.
yeah, that would I will say that kind of suck, bro. That would be like a pretty unfair immediate takeaway if I'm gonna be real. It'd be a little
Yeah,
rude. Be a little rude of him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
so
but I mean, yeah, I think I had imagined that chat probably has very similar sentiments. Very
mhm.
good episode. Can't really complain about anything. Just looking forward to what we see in the
uh,
future.
Sleeping Danger. I'm glad my friend group is half manga reader, half anime only. Same. So it should be a fun time. But hey, the manga reader friends are gonna watch this whether they like it or not. So you know,
Okay.
the decision is out of their hands.
Huh.
Um,
Yeah. But yeah,
yeah, this was a
I don't
great,
really. Have
maiden voyage with the members only stream. Thank you to everybody here who became members, donated. Jerome Simmons, I don't know if you're still here, but thank you again.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
all of
you.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you. Gonna keep doing this, as the season goes
Mhm.
on. Hope more of you get to show up and get to enjoy this experience with us. But yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Or
Nah, that's
Sunday.
a lie. We'll
Yeah, we'll
see you
see you
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
gonna.
lied to you just now. But yeah,
Oh yeah. See, yeah, I'm telling you, bro. It's just habit. You don't even realize it.
yeah,
Oh my god. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Thanks, guys.